Hey everybody, it's Gone Turbo here. In this video we're going to look at two mods that are very important to changing the look of your game. And the first one that I'd like to look at is this one here, Dynamically Disable Eye Adaptation and Bloom. So what this does is gives you in your book category two pieces of paper that when you open them you can completely disable bloom, but also disable and enable eye adaptation. And that's what I wanted to show you guys today, is this part of this mod. Now in my opinion, this is essential. Display Enhancements is a mod that changes some features of the look of your game and does have some elements of this eye adaptation feature, HDR kind of feature. But this mod here makes it so much easier to change this effect that I'd like to show you guys. So here's how it works. So here we are in Whiterun, and we're outside of the forge here, and it's a bright sunny day. It's about 12:40. So what you'll see is as I approach this door, how dark and kind of washed out black this door gets. And this is a common thing like in overhangs of some of these buildings, and as you kind of enter dark places from light to dark. So that's what it looks like when everything is normal, or when this mod is not activated. So what you do is you go into items in your inventory, go into books, and you're going to scroll down, and you'll see toggle bloom and toggle eye adaptation. So these are the two pieces of paper you get in this mod. Now I have my heads up display on so you can see something that happens here. When I click this, it says enabled eye adaptation, and that's an indication that this is working when it says enabled. Now when I approach this door now, you'll see the difference. It's still dark, but it's not washed out black. And that's essentially what this does. No matter what weather mod you use, I think it complements weather mods very well, because some weather mods will, because of the lighting elements of it, will wash your character's face out, will wash out certain areas to a very dark kind of black look. And this will disable that, so everything's a little bit more even. It's still shadowy, but it's not like a charcoal-y kind of ugly black. So here it is back the other way. Now what I'll do here is I'm going to open up the piece of paper again, and you'll see the difference in the background when I open this up. There, so in the background it's enabled, and it makes it so it's a little bit lighter, just a little bit. Just kind of evens out the shadows and the brightness. That's the effect that has. Okay, now the other mod that I'd like to show you guys is TLS's LOD Blur, Lod Blur. Now I'm doing a little bit of research. LOD seems to stand for load order distance, and if this is true, now basically some of the mods that affect LOD make the far distance a little bit more pleasing, a little bit more detailed. What this does is slightly blurs that load order distance to, well, just give kind of a blurry effect. Now when you download this mod, Tls Lod Blur, there's going to be a ring in the Sleeping Giant in Riverwood, and there's a ring on the bar when you go into the inn, and you'll see this ring, LOD Blur. Now this doesn't affect any rings on your hands or anything. When you activate it, it will blur the distance. Now this is with it off, so everything is kind of sharp and crisp as it would be. But when you put the ring on, it just slightly blurs everything in the far distance. Now I really like the blur effect that takes place when you are kind of near an object and the background blurs, that kind of depth of field. But this gives kind of a constant depth of field to your game. So to show this off a little bit better, because that wasn't such the best example, we're going to head outside of Whiterun here. While this is loading up, the other feature of that disable eye enhancements or disable eye adaptation is the bloom. So when you open up that piece of paper for toggle bloom, you'll completely disable bloom throughout the game, and it's really great to have set. All right, so here we are outside of Whiterun, and you can see how things in the distance are blurred just slightly. Now sometimes you'll see PC game, Skyrim games, and the PC shots with kind of a blurred distance, and it looks really cool. I think it kind of has an effect of sharpening foreground objects and even midground objects. But this does a nice job. It's just subtle. It's not too much of a distant blur. So I'm gonna toggle it off here, and you'll see the difference. This might be a good little mod to have if you're into taking screenshots as well, because you might like that distance. It is sometimes nice to have a detailed distance, background. Here it is on again. Now again, Display Enhancements is another mod that I use and would highly recommend using. And some of these features are in Display Enhancements, but this little mod here, these two little mods here that are featured in this video, just make things a little bit easier. Because with Display Enhancements, what happens is, I'm going to open it up here. If you need to reset something, you have to clear the whole thing out. Now there is this preset 28, which, as I clicked on right there, also offers a blurry background, but it's much more powerful than the LOD blur mod. In fact, it can be a little bit strenuous on the eyes. It's so blurry. So to change that in Display Enhancements, you have to go down to Remove All Effects. And this takes a little bit of time to reset each and every time. So you'll see up in the upper left corner numbers that pop up while everything is clearing in Display Enhancements. So please wait. 178, 357. We have to wait until that reaches 357 as those numbers increase. But what I usually do for my game is increase contrast 3 times. I do use Vivid Weathers, so I have it on normal saturation. Sometimes I use Rustic, and I might increase saturation just a hair. So you'll see in the upper left-hand corner, it said All Effects Removed. Some of these options here under the HDR, do change the eye adaptation features. But I think the other mod I was talking about here does a better job at that. Alright, so I increased contrast 3 times, and I've taken off that preset 28, which does the background blur, but I still have the ring on. Sometimes I increase blue tint just a little bit as well. So, the 2 mods today, Tls Lod Blur and Dynamically Disable Eye Adaptation and Bloom, and a little bit of conversation about Display Enhancements as well. Well, thanks for watching, and have a great day, everybody.